8 p.m. live this Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. Live on my channel on YouTube, Rich Mancuso, the AGT Network, and I'll Keep It in the Ring Facebook page, other outlets, including our Twitch follows. Welcome. This is Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. This week, of course, a lot. As always with combat sports, this is your home, the boxing, some UFC, and the pro wrestling. Got a lot of that all in store in the next hour or more or so with Carl Roberts, my great producer behind the scenes. We'll get to it. I want you to like, subscribe, of course. It's free. And comment at your will. Let me know what you think, what's going on in wrestling, boxing, MMA, and whatever. I know you got a lot to say about Ryan Garcia, about the steroid implications now. We'll talk about that, of course. What is a program without Ryan Garcia, right? And also Canelo Alvarez. We're going to get to that in a moment. My social media handles, everyone, as always. Scroll to the bottom of the screen. X, formerly Twitter, Ring786. Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. I'm on Instagram and other social media platforms as well. I will get back to you if you send me a message. I do the best I can to each and every one of you. Appreciate your support every week here at Keep It in the Ring. And the fight schedule, significant fights coming up. We are in that boxing season. I tell you every week. There's a good one this weekend, Lomachenko and Gambosis Jr. on ESPN. We're coming up next week with Tyson Fury and Usyk, finally, to see if we have a unified heavyweight champion, which has always been the face of the sport, but not as of late. But this face of the sport, as we get right into it, for sure. As I wrote in numerous columns this week, I'm talking about the unified 168-pound champion, Canelo Alvarez. And you saw it over the weekend on the Zone on Amazon Prime pay-per-view and Zone pay-per-view. Canelo gets that attention. Why? He's the face of boxing. The results show he's the face of boxing as he continues his legacy at 168. Here against Jaime Munguia, the young 27-year-old, and he's still relatively young, in that four-belt area, the first time, Cinco de Mayo weekend, the fourth title defense for Canelo Alvarez at 168, that uppercut in the fourth round, and Munguia goes down to the mat for the first time in his career and sustains his first defeat. You know, he tried to get back into this fight, did a good job at it, but that Canelo Alvarez chin and power, just too dominant. Jaime Munguia, by all means, will be back. It's not the end of him. As Oscar De La Hoya said, that just like Floyd Mayweather Jr., who sustained the law where he sustained Canelo's first loss, Jaime Munguia does the same. And this was a learning lesson. Oscar says he will be back, and my friends, you better believe that. Now, up to that knockout, up into that knockdown, it looked like Canelo might be taking over this fight, but that did not happen. Jaime Munguia, as we all know, is a good young fighter. Deserved this opportunity to go after those unified titles of Canelo Alvarez. I had it 117-110, this to unanimous decision by those three blind mice judges at ringside who got it right. One judge had that, 117-110, 116-111. One had it 115-112, which could be debatable. He had it much closer, slipped by a round or so. Regardless, Canelo Alvarez is still the champion. He is developing as he continues not to develop. He has that legacy. He is the face of boxing. You cannot deny that, my friends. The top fighter, maybe pound to pound, next to Terrence Crawford Jr., who'll be back in there soon in June, however, at 154. But there's always a possibility Canelo could fight Terrence Crawford. But that doesn't seem to be the point. The point here is that Canelo Alvarez right now commands his destiny. He said it again. I can do whatever I want. You know, the punch stats told the story of this fight. We'll put them up briefly. Munguia threw 127 more punches than Canelo. 44% of 50 punches, though, went to Canelo, and that, too, played a role in this fight. Now the question is, as Canelo says, what do I do for next? As he says, I can do whatever I want, and he can because he's the face of boxing. He promotes his own fights with other promoters. He also draws pay-per-view numbers. I don't have the numbers on this one, but I heard preliminary estimates neared 1 million. We'll get the final figures sooner or later. Amazon Prime, the main, and then you have the Zone pay-per-view, so it was combined. He commands pay-per-view numbers. He gets them. He gets what he wants because he is the face of boxing. He's a major draw. And until otherwise known, he is. Who can overtake him? Well, as a 168-pounder, there aren't many options left, though it is said that Edgar Berlanga will be facing Canelo Alvarez next in September when he fights again. Of course, Berlanga is the mandatory challenger of the WBA for one of those titles at least, but then they would all become mandatory with all the alphabet soup title belts that dominate boxing. As I said, Terence Crawford at 154, maybe, but I would doubt that very highly. This guy we know for sure, as Berlanga might be preparing for Canelo, which would be a Mexican against Puerto Rican fight, which has a great history in boxing, as you know. This guy, though, David Benavidez, who has moved on, he said, from Canelo Alvarez, repeatedly still gets asked, do you want Canelo next? Well, Benavidez says, of course I do, but he doesn't want me. Canelo has made it known that Benavidez is not on his target for those titles. Berlanga next. Benavidez, no, because you know David Benavidez has moved up to 175 and will be vying for those titles, as we'll talk about in a moment. In the meantime, you cannot take anything away from the dominance of Canelo Alvarez. He is not only an all-time great fighter, he is, in my opinion, as I wrote this week and many others, without dispute, the face of boxing. Fights 2 times a year, doesn't deck a challenge, and this was his 4th title defense, and he goes through every opponent. Were his skills diminished? We could have questioned that maybe last year. His last few fights, though, no. Canelo Alvarez looks like he hasn't lost his skill at all in the ring. He's still got the power. He's still got the speed. He still has the defense. And when he goes to the body, you better be careful. Because once he goes to the body, you're sure to go down. And now we see it more and more, what we've been talking about, building this legacy, a fighter who has a pretty tough chin. You can't get to it. Jaime Munguia will tell you that. Utter respect, Munguia, for Canelo Alvarez. 2 Mexican fighters. He admired Canelo, always wanted to fight him, got him. Will he get a rematch with him? Probably not. Munguia might be looking at other options to move out of 168. Maybe he'll drop back down to 154. He got his opportunity, well-deserved, and went the unanimous decision route against him. Good fight overall on Amazon Prime pay-per-view and the Zone pay-per-view and payperview.com. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Canelo Alvarez? Does he stand a chance against David Benavidez, who wants to fight him but keeps denying that he will in many ways by saying he's passed and gone to 175? However, as I mentioned moments ago, my friends, David Benavidez feels that's still a fight that he should have. 2 years they've been looking to make it. At 175, he has a better chance, though, of becoming a champion. And I'll talk more about that in a moment in that division with Dimitri Bivol. I take nothing away from Canelo Alvarez. I respect him immensely. I respect him as a fighter he is. The legacy that he has developed. An all-time boxing great who will continue at least for another 2 years. 168 is a weight that he's comfortable with, though he could be 175 if he wants to, a fight that he probably should not ever take again, as we saw a year or so ago against Jimmie Riverawho, the champion. He was manhandled there. But he looked bigger than a 168-pounder, and so did Jaime Munguia, by the way. However, Canelo Alvarez has not lost his skills. The result is his legacy continues, and most of all, he is the face of boxing without a question. I want you to comment. Let me know what you think about that. As Canelo Alvarez says, I can do whatever I want. And when you're the face of boxing, you can. He deserves it. Let's face it. Does not duck opponents except possibly for David Benavidez. And you'd love to see that fight. We all do in boxing. Unfortunately, we don't think it's going to ever evolve. But in this sport, you never know, my friends. Things do happen. And I'm not ruling it out completely. David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez, maybe not at 168, but maybe 175 where Canelo doesn't want to go. I don't know if Benavidez, though, wants to go back to 168, but if he gets the money and they can put it together, Benavidez will have no problem going to 168 again and fight Canelo Alvarez for those titles, where I think Alvarez is going to have those titles until he retires or decides to give them up. On the undercard, Amazon pay-per-view, which, once again, stars up. A-plus broadcast again. The undercard saw WBA welterweight champion Matis Stanonis remain undefeated, 15-0, over Gabriel Mastre. Good fight. Mastre's first loss, 12-round unanimous decision. Good fight. Stanatos is someone in that welterweight division that's keeping it strong and healthy. And we'll talk about Gerald Boutsenis in a moment, who's a part of that division. Brandon Figueroa, 9th-round knockout over Jesse Maldonado. Figueroa, 52 punches thrown per round. He came in rounds 5 to 9 and got the win. Good undercard before Canelo's fight with Munguia. So here we go again, my friends. Another fight goes on, but not with the original opponent. Most anticipated light heavyweight battle we've been looking for the last couple of years between Arturo Beterbiev and Jimmie Riverawho, the WBA champion, to unify that division. It's not going to be Benavidez, and as you know now, Benavidez sustained an injury. So his fight with Riverawho will be pushed back again. Assuming Riverawho now will in Saudi Arabia on June 1st with his new opponent, will face undefeated number 2 IBF challenger Malik Zinard. He's 22-0 and 16 knockouts. And now that becomes underneath, which now moves to the main event. You know, Queensberry and Matchroom had that 5-on-5 on that same show. Riverawho now is underneath that. And I'm sure Benavidez and Riverawho will eventually be made again and real soon. They're saying by the fall. Here is Jimmie Riverawho, the undefeated WBA light heavyweight champ, wants to unify those titles with Arturo Beterbiev, who has the other titles. And again, Beterbiev is hurt. Sustained the injury again in training camp. He's not avoiding him. He got injured. That's the fallout with boxing. This is what happens. Unfortunately, it happens way too much. So we're not going to get to see the fight we've been anticipating yet, but we will. That fight to unify will go on, but maybe not until the fall. We got to wait until Beterbiev heals and assume Riverawho will defeat his new opponent, Malik Zinard, and that's coming up on June the 1st in Saudi Arabia. Now, for Riverawho, it's now adjusting to a new opponent, and he never has a problem doing that. Jimmie Riverawho, even in the ring, the technician as he is, knows how to adjust. And in this case, and it's not easy for any fighter, you talk to a fighter and say, originally you had this opponent, now I don't. I have to go with someone else. And we see that more and more recently. Fighters know how to adjust. In the ring, champions like Riverawho know how to adjust in case of situations like this where he doesn't have the opponent that he's been training for. So it goes back to the drawing board, does the adjustments, goes in the ring, and hope those adjustments work. And I expect Jimmie Riverawho to retain those titles against a gained undefeated fighter opponent on June 1st in Saudi Arabia. The main event now to that card, Queensberry Matchroom, is now going to be Deontay Wilder and Zen for in the heavyweight division. It has a lot of implications. Of course, 5-on-5 is going to be a part of the Bivol fight, and good matchups, very good matchups that will have your interest also on the Zone pay-per-view. Good concept, except Jimmie Riverawho has a new opponent. Fight coming up, June 15th, official. They had the first official press conference, and there were a lot of theatrics, and you saw a lot of Gervonta Davis, who could be one of the top 3 fighters in the world. Amazon Prime, again, June 15th. There's Gervonta Davis for his WBA lightweight title. A very good division still exists. And here he is against Frank Martin, who's formidable. And Davis and Martin were going at it. They were jawing, and then they were also playing with each other off a cell phone, but a lot of anticipation on this one. And there you see to the left, there's David Benavidez debuting at 175 for the vacant WBC interim title at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas on June 15th. So Benavidez will debut 175 and fight for a vacant title of light heavyweight already, and see where he goes from there against Alessandra, his opponent. It's the interim title, debuting at 175, as Gervonta Davis tries to continue his undefeated streak. I don't expect him to have an issue with that with Frank Martin, but it won't be an easy fight for Davis at his weight. And he can be powerful. We know how quick he is. And we saw that against Ryan Garcia last April, and how he manhandled Garcia before Garcia went down and took a knee with a shot to the liver, to the body. So Martin and Davis fighting for Davis's title coming up June 15th. And on that card, David Benavidez debuting at 175. The questions will be asked. I expect him to win. The David Benavidez will be asked again, do you want Canelo Alvarez next? You're going to get the answer. I've moved on. I'm 175. But we all know, as I said moments ago, my friends, David Benavidez would love to fight Canelo Alvarez. He'd have a good chance on beating him. I believe Benavidez at 168 would defeat Canelo Alvarez, and he will use his power and speed. Benavidez has, to me, at 168, we'll see if he does it at 175 as a light heavyweight, the best punch in the division. Not Edgar Berlanga. He's not going to defeat Canelo Alvarez. He says he will, but I don't see that happening. David Benavidez would if Canelo would fight him at 168. Canelo's not going to fight him at 175. That's why he doesn't want a rematch with Bivol at 175. We'll see where that goes. All right. What am I coming up against now? What do you want to hear? I know. We talk about him every week because he don't go away. Ryan Garcia. Fresh off his victory over Devin Haney. And the controversy continues. Now we have a steroid controversy. You know about it. You're a fight fan. You know about the allegations of a steroid test that came out positive after the fight. It's a substance that's been used, tested, but not approved by VADA, the official agency that tests these guys. Garcia now has put in his 10-day appeal. He's going after everyone on this. Devin Haney says Garcia is definitely a cheater. They should reverse the decision. The New York State Athletic Commission, under theory, attacked. My question about this, if Ryan Garcia tested positive after the fight, then he had this substance in him before the fight, and the New York State Athletic Commission does that strict testing protocol prior to a fight with all types of medicals and substance abuse and illegal substances. I am not a big fan of Ryan Garcia's antics. Everyone knows that. Not many like the Ryan Garcia antics. However, this time I won't fault Ryan Garcia. And here's why, my friends. With the strict medical protocols of the New York State Athletic Commission, one of the stricter athletic commissions or control boards that run boxing and combat sports events in this country. And they are strict. I know, believe me. How can they say that Ryan Garcia tested positive? If they knew that, they would have suspended him and canceled the fight before. And that's a contention of Ryan Garcia, and I am with him on this. I believe something here is not right. Whether it be the New York State Athletic Commission or the testing Duvada and some other intermediaries involved in this, charade maybe. There's a lot of resentment about Ryan Garcia, and sure enough, Ryan Garcia on his X page and Instagram is on the attack. There is a 10-day appeal in process. He is saying the following things. Carl, let's put it up. He said he doesn't cheat. He's claiming this is a conspiracy, all types of things, and that the media is wrongly not allowing him here, that they are playing games with him. I am not going to contact, what was he says? Ryan Garcia is not really looking for a rematch here. Neither is Devin Haney, and I don't expect that to happen. However, based on Ryan Garcia's antics, again, on social media, you wonder if something's up here, that maybe this is all a part to get them back in the ring again, because there are reports that they've been talking and been very friendly this past week. They have friends banging back from the amateurs. Then the animosity could have been show and tell prior to the fight. However, Ryan Garcia continues to make his plea and also showing that he is not guilty here about substance abuse and testing positive for a steroid that many say could be legal after all, a D substance. I don't know the particulars. I'm not a steroid expert. You have to ask the experts in that field. And I tried to get one of them on the program this week, and to no avail. Of course, I didn't succeed. I tried to get an official from the New York State Athletic Commission to give their side of the story. I didn't succeed. They don't want to talk to anyone. They're staying quiet on this. Ryan Garcia supposedly says, as part of more of this conspiracy, that the head of the New York State Athletic Commission has resigned or got fired over this. I haven't been able to officially confirm this. Here it is from Ryan Garcia just yesterday. New York City Athletic Commissioner resigns. Everyone here is backtracking now. Stop messing with me. Defamation lawsuits, all you take-ass reporters like that. He's going after colleague Dan Raphael, who has his own website and pages, used to be with ESPN. Ryan doesn't like to get attacked. He doesn't like his critics. Yeah, he continually does things on social media, his antics, that make us attack him. And again, I don't fault what he can do in the ring. Very talented. I do not believe he tested positive. I do believe someone here is out to get him. So in his defense, I will say that. He has a right to appeal. He will. We'll find out what the final determination is. And if his appeal doesn't go his way, he could face a suspension from one of the sanctioning alphabet soup organizations, or the New York State Athletic Commission can impose severe fines and whatever, or they could just handle this to be a no contest, and it goes against Devin Haney, and it goes in his fairness. They'll overturn the result of the fight, and Devin Haney will still have an unbeaten record. Remains to be determined where this goes. All I can tell you is this: monitor Ryan Garcia's social media pages, because, and ESPN, Mike Coppinger is on this, and Dan Raphael more than I am. because they will tell you what the latest is. But I could say this, that Ryan Garcia right now, there's more turmoil and is subject to maybe fines and heavy suspensions if this all goes against him for sure after his appeal. And Devin Haney could have that loss overturned. Remains to be seen. Garcia says he wants to get back in the ring as soon as possible, yet he's out there partying his way all over the place. Even his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. Carl, show that photo of Oscar De La Hoya having a good time in a party outfit. I wanted to show that. He was at the Canelo fight having a good time. Look at him. And I don't know where that was. But De La Hoya is showing why he's also not the most liked Hall of Fame promoter, former champion. Look at that outfit. What is he doing? Of course, he's had other allegations of substance abuse in the past. He's defending Ryan Garcia as well. That's his promoter. Of course, Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya can't stand each other. That came out before the fight during the press conferences. De La Hoya says if Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo says Oscar De La Hoya keeps defaming him, if Canelo says if Oscar De La Hoya, his former promoter, continues to defame his character, and De La Hoya is going to sue Canelo and impose this injunction or gag order on him because, as you know, Canelo Alvarez says Ryan Garcia is a piece of shit. That's out of Canelo's mouth, not mine, and that Oscar De La Hoya does not take care of his fighters financially. And part of the reason that Canelo feels this way about Oscar is because Canelo Alvarez feels he was cheated when he was under Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy banner. Who do you believe? Comment. Let me know. Here on Keep It in the Ring page, live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, at the AGT Network as well, and also to my Twitch followers now where we are live. All right. So Ryan Garcia, urine sample positive for the Ostarine, as it's called. They're saying no third test also. Statements have been put up. You can read about it. We'll keep you posted. All right. Some good news. Gerard Boots Ennis, he did this young, exciting fighter from Philadelphia, has the IBF title, and he's going to defend the July 13th homecoming on the Zone as part of his multi-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing, Wells Fargo Center. It will be Gerald Boots Ennis, homecoming, 31-0, 28 knockouts, first time in Philly since 2018 after he defeated Roman Villa in Atlantic City. He's going to come off that fight, a 10th round KO in Atlantic City last year. Then became the interim champ, elevated to full champion. He's fighting Crowley, undefeated as well, 22-0, 9 knockouts. Boots Ennis is now one of the tops in the welterweight division and will defend that title. Homecoming for Gerard Boots Ennis. It's going to be loud and furious at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, that being on July 13th on the Zone. I hope to be there as well. Then again, I say I'm going to go to all these fights, and some of them I don't make. It's baseball season for me as well. Everything going on, okay? All right. Were you up at 4 a.m. Monday morning, Eastern time? Well, if you were, good to you. I missed it, but I saw a replay because that's where you see this young man at the sold-out Tokyo Dome, top-ranked ESPN Plus, undefeated bantamweight champ, Naoya Inoue, who many say is the top pound-for-pound fighter in boxing, also part of top 3, might be moving up in weight. Remained undefeated, 27-0, 24 knockouts. He is a knockout artist. He did come off the canvas, though, in round 1. Louis Neri gave him a fight early. Came off the canvas in round 1, but then he KO'd the former two-time champ Neri in round 6 with the uppercut. Neri got a left in round 1 that hit Inoue. First time Inoue went down to the canvas in his career. Pound for pound, baby, top fighter or top 3. He has that. That's got to be in the discussion now. Neri went down with a left hook in round 2 and 5, and again in round 6, and it was all over. Now we see what the latest is for this young, exciting fighter from Japan, Naoya Inoue, who doesn't get the exposure rightly deserved, even though he's with Top Rank and ESPN, because his fights are in Japan. He's got to fight here in the States. And then, at the right time, not at 4 a.m., Top Rank, I talked to a person there this week who said, that's in the works. Hopefully you want to see this guy live if he comes to a city near you. All right, Shakili Foster defends his WBC junior lightweight title against Robson Canseco July 6th. That at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Top Rank ESPN. He's going to co-main event the Shakur Stevenson lightweight title defense. And this will be Shakur Stevenson's supposedly last fight under his Top Rank boxing contract. If you haven't seen Shakur Stevenson, he's another one of those rising superstars, if not already a superstar in the sport at his age. Exciting. There's always talk about him and Gervonta Davis. If the PBC and Top Rank can get together, maybe as a lightweight, junior lightweight, whatever, these two could fight at a catch weight. Would be a mega fight for the sport. Stevenson wants it. Gervonta Davis has never ruled that out of the picture. We'll see that where it goes. But Newark, Prudential Center, July 6th. Forster defends his junior lightweight title. Shakur Stevenson defends his lightweight title. Good one there. Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, Top Rank ESPN. And the WBC, just a day ago, according to the ESPN, stripped Jamal Charlo of his WBC middleweight title. He hasn't defended it since June 2021 for all types of dramatic and specifics, if you want to say. He was arrested just a couple of days ago in Texas for a DUI. Again, he fled the scene. He was arrested. The interim champ now has been crowned. It's Carlos Adames, well-deserved. He was headed to a championship anyway in the division. Adames, 23-1, 18 KOs. He is now the champ. I don't know when we're going to see Jamal Charlo again. I wish him all the best for his well-being and hope he becomes a championship fighter that he can be, as long as he stays out of the drama and away from getting arrested and law enforcement officials. That seem to be a recurrent problem for one of the Charlo brothers right now. Good one Saturday at the regular time, 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus, ESPN boxing platforms from Perth, Australia. The IBF World Title, 10 p.m. Eastern. Carl, put the poster up. Former world champions in the lightweight division, Vasily Lomachenko against George Kambosos Jr. Lomachenko, the three-division champion, a fight in a division where the lightweights, a lot of the great ones have moved up to 140. Perhaps Lomachenko and Kambosos will have their eyes on that after this one. In the meantime, they vie for the IBF lightweight title Saturday night on ESPN from Perth, Australia. Going to be a good one at a regular time, 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Lomachenko has not lost his skills, and if you know the story of Kambosos Jr., he dethroned at one time the champ Teofimo Lopez, had been rematched, won the title, lost it, Devin Haney and so forth. Those guys now at 140 vying to take over those titles, including Lopez, who says he's going to take over 140. He hasn't done that as of yet. Perhaps he will down the line this summer. But this fight has a lot of implications to see who wins this title and where does either one of them go. For Kambosos, perhaps this is his last opportunity at becoming a champion, but it seems like he always seems to come back. For Lomachenko, who's already been a champion 3 times already, he's never getting tired of it. Even at 36 years of his age, he still, despite what they say, even what they said about Canelo, when he seems his skills are diminished, he seems to rebound and show those skills have not diminished. So good one Saturday night. Catch it. 10 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Top Rank. Lomachenko against Kambosos Jr., and that being former world champions for another lightweight title. So that leads us to next Saturday night. We'll talk more about next week. Finally, we might get a unified heavyweight champion. If we don't get it next Saturday between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, Fury the WBC champ, Usyk holds all the other alphabet soup titles. If we don't get that rematch, we don't get a decisive winner next Saturday night in Saudi Arabia, which has become the fight capital of the world, along with Las Vegas, Nevada, well, then you know what happens? We have a rematch. There's a rematch clause in a contract. We could see a trilogy, which will hold up that division even more. I expect next Saturday to be a good one, and I won't give you my prediction until next week or on social media or here on the program. But there is a rematch clause. So if Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua or any of the other heavyweights want to become the face of this sport and unify the titles, they have to wait. Because I expect there to be another Usyk-Tyson Fury fight after this one, unless Fury decides I've had enough. He loses and says I'm walking away. Then again, what fighter says they retire? You know, all fighters say they retire and they always come back, don't they? Let's shift to UFC real quick. UFC 301 past weekend in Rio. Alexander Pedroia, second title defense, beat Steven Erceg, the flyweight, by unanimous decision. Erceg had the power punches and the elbows, but it wasn't enough. It was enough for him, not enough. Erceg didn't have it as a flyweight. Tonight, Alexander Pedroia did with his second title defense, and that was a good one. My problem, though, again, is the conflict. Because as you're having Amazon Prime and a major title fight, you're having the UFC on ESPN pay-per-view as well, or ESPN Plus from Rio. Conflicts at the same time where promoters can't work together. Dana White, UFC, PBC or whatever, have to put these guys on at the same time. You have to watch simultaneously. And at times, sometimes, fans, I can tell you, I've got 4 things going on at the same time. It's not fair to the fans. They have to work together. Then you wonder why boxing in particular gets no respect. That's a reason. Someone needs to get their act together here. If they're doing it for numbers and money, that's not working. Because you, the fan, are getting robbed. What do you watch? Order at the same time? Raise your bills even more? Not fair. Not fair. Anyway, co-main event, Jose Aldo returned. The former 2-time UFC featherweight champ, the Hall of Famer, returns. First fight as a bantamweight over Jonathan Martinez. So Jose Aldo, one of those guys in the UFC, comes back out of retirement and wins a fight. We'll see where he goes. A lot going on. Awful lot going on. And UFC welterweight Matt Brown said, though, he's retiring after 19 years, had 30 fights in the octagon. So good luck. Congratulations to Matt Brown on a great career in the MMA and UFC after 19 years. All right, fans, that takes us through the boxing segment for now. More later with nostalgia. We're going to take a brief break, come back, fact of the week. But during the fact of the week, we're going to shift gears. More combat sports. We're going to talk about bare knuckles boxing. And I have a main eventer coming up at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut this Saturday night, Bare Knuckles Championships. We'll talk to him. We're going to be talking to Jimmie Riverawho next after this brief timeout. I'm Rich Mancuso. This is Keep It in the Ring, live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, on the AGT Network, as well as live on my Facebook Keep It in the Ring page, live, and also to you Twitch followers, thanks for coming along for the ride. Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, also Ring76 at X, formerly Twitter, is how you get me. Back after this brief timeout, my friends. Stay with us. This is Keep It in the Ring. All right, fans, there he is. Welcome back to Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso, live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, and also the AGT Network, Keep It in the Ring page. And without further ado, he's been waiting patiently as I did the boxing talk. I hope he enjoyed it. Here's 34-year-old Jimmie Riverawho. He's main eventing now Mohegan Sun Arena Bare Knuckles Fighting Championships this Saturday night, live on their website, on a stream, Bare Knuckles website. We'll give it to you in a moment. Jimmie, thanks for waiting and welcome. It's nice to have you as we shift gears and talk bare knuckles on the program, a contact sport, for the first time. So I'm going to enjoy this and want to learn a lot about it. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How you doing?
Jimmie is 34 years of age. He's known as El Terror, right? At 1-1-1. He's a lightweight. He's main eventing now against 39-year-old Daryl Strauss. And immediately I've got to ask you, how does a bare knuckle fighter prepare now? Because the main event fell out. Am I right?
Yeah, Heather Hardy was supposed to fight Christina for the title, and Heather had some injuries that she still has to take care of, but she had to step out. Supposed to co-main the fight.
I don't know. Heather Hardy was doing bare knuckles. How did you even, bare knuckles is almost like boxing except no gloves. And I understand, and I've never seen one live. I wanted to go Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't. But how does bare knuckles compare to boxing? No gloves, right? Yeah. Just your bare knuckles. Good old street fight. And you're not using your feet as well. Am I right?
Yeah, it's just bare knuckle boxing. That's it.
How do you adjust becoming now a main eventer? And I know you're excited about that.
For sure. Obviously, the main event, be close to home from a Jersey boy, of course.
Jimmie Riverawho. Jimmie, you got the name El Terror. Why is that?
So before going into bare knuckle, in general, I used to do MMA. And I'm 23-5 as a professional MMA fighter. I fought 6 years in the UFC and fought some big names like Aljamain Sterling, Uriah Faber, Peter Yan, guys like that. And when I finished my contract with UFC, I went shopping like any free agent does, and stumbled upon this and loved it. I mean, when I do MMA fights, you have to do boxing. We would go to boxing rings and stuff like that. I know you spoke about Shakur. Got to train with him a little bit too. Awesome, unbelievable boxer. Really good work. It was fun training with him. Kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. There's so many art forms that we have to work in MMA. Go into something like this, it actually feel like as a fighter prolongs your career because you're not doing the 10 or 12 rounds like boxing is.
How many rounds is the fight?
5 2-minute rounds.
So I ask you this, Jimmie, now, you've done them all then. Kickboxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever, all contact sports, great sports, very physical, very, very competitive. Why bare knuckles now and not from the beginning?
It wasn't an option in the beginning. It was still just growing, the sport itself. I didn't know of it until later on in my career. After numerous fights, and when I had the opportunity to either do MMA or do this, two of the things I could definitely didn't realize, you only work on one art form compared to 4 or 5 others with MMA. So prolonged my career. Second, and obviously the contract and the agreement was just one of those things too good to be true. I couldn't pass up the offer and what they were offering me. And when it comes down to it, as you get older, you want the biggest thing is a payday, is making sure you get paid and take care of your family. So that was another thing that, put my decision doing this on top of boxing. So very going there.
Jimmie, is it rewarding enough financially? I know MMA fighters, at least the undercard guys, the guys are on the low part of the totem pole on the way up. Even the main eventers in MMA don't make as much money as a pro fighter does in the main event status. Is it worth it for you to go into this?
It is. If it wasn't worth it, I wouldn't do it.
My question is, why do you do it? Why bare knuckles? Why do you do it more?
important, and at the same time, I'm a competitor. I'm a fighter. You know, you talk about guys coming back, and you see a lot of guys retire, and then they all of a sudden come back. You talk about, you know, you talked about Aldo recently. Aldo came back, and he had one fight left on his contract. He's obviously done boxing and other things, but when you're still with a contract with the UFC or a promotion, it's kind of hard to make the best of other contracts you get. So he fought out his last fight in the UFC and is now technically a free agent where he doesn't have to get permission to the promotion fight. So it all comes back to people see what's in front, but though people don't see what the contract and negotiation in the back. You see, like you talk about Canelo, you know what I mean? Did really well, all this stuff, but then you see how he was treated in the back with De La Hoya. So, you know, there's different things that come out. Not everything comes out right away. It comes out, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on the fighter and what their circumstances are.
Jimmie, how physical is bare knuckles compared to the other combat sports you've been involved with? I
think it's like you compare this to MMA, I think it's safer. You compare this to boxing, I think it's safer. I think it's, I guess violent, you want to say, a lot easier to get cut, but I'm not doing 30, 36 minutes in a boxing ring, boxing gloves, getting nonstop punched in the head. I've met a lot of boxers, famous boxers who are retired, and CTE is real, and being punch drunk is real. And, you know, talking to them, sometimes there's a delay. With this, it's shorter, obviously, the 5 rounds, but it's high intensity 5 rounds. You know what I mean? We're going at it. We're beating the shit out of each other. We're going at it.
Do you fight in a cage?
Fight in a ring. It's a
in a ring, general ring. 3 judges judge the fight like in boxing too?
Yep, same scorecard.
Okay. Well, I hope if it goes decision that they're not 3 blind mice like they are in boxing. That I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's tough sometimes. I mean,
yeah.
Going on.
What does and I got to ask this because I'm such a boxing guy, as everyone knows. What does a judge in bare knuckles over there at ringside look at? Is this similar to what a boxing judge will look at when scoring a fight?
I think everybody has their own perspective on how to judge, and there's what they give, and then everybody has their little, you know, different tabs what they account more for to win the round. And I think that goes
well. In boxing, of course, they're looking for jabs. They're looking for generalship, but they're looking for jabs and how many connected or landed if they're really paying attention, those judges. You guys are not jabbing or anything with gloves. You're using your bare knuckles. How do they keep track of that? How many times the knuckles hit the body or the face compared to a glove?
I mean, you got, you know, I guess I have to correlate it with, you know, you have your strike count and you have your significant, what they do, significant strikes, what did the most damage, you know what I mean? Because you can land a lot of shots, you know what I mean, but the other person can have a little more significant strikes. And I think it still comes down to, with bare knuckle, I guess my personal opinion is that it comes down your strike count, your significant strikes, and how much damage you do to the person too as well.
Yeah. Now you're 1-1-1, meaning you 1-1-1. What the one? What was that one? A draw?
So I had one that was a draw, and then my one loss came to me. I was winning the fight.
Jimmie, did we lose you? Carl, did we lose Jimmie's connection?
I think I'm still here. You hear me or not?
All right. Do you hear me, Jimmie? Because I lost you for a moment. You're there, right? Yeah. Good. All right.
Oh.
How long have you been the bare knuckle fighter now?
2 years now, and the one fight you were talking about, the one loss was I was winning the fight, but I got cut really bad, and the doctor wouldn't let me continue. So that was those cuts were from the knuckles from your opponent. Yeah, I got hit with a good shot, opening me up good over the eyebrow.
Where was it? The eye or the top of the head?
The eyebrow.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be susceptible to that in boxing. I mean, within bare knuckles, it could be worse. You wrap your hands as well? Do you wrap?
We do wrap. There's nothing on our knuckles.
Wow. I've got to see this live. Unfortunately, I can't come up this Saturday. Jimmie Riverawho, 34-year-old in the main event, known as El Terra. What part of you from New Jersey? What part?
Bergen County I grew up in.
Bergen County. What gym do you train in? You train every day. What gym?
Tiger Showman's.
All right, so you're around a lot of fighters. You're around MMA guys and pro fighters as well. So combat sports is your thing. What are you looking at Saturday night? A quick ending to this? Do you know your opponent at all?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough guy. He's a lefty. He used to be the Bellator champ at 145. You in this sport, you have people that are boxers, but you also have people that transition from MMA into this boxing world of bare knuckle boxing. So he was a big MMA guy. He's 0-1 right now. His first fight he lost by decision, very close fight. I'm looking to feel it out and put him to the canvas by the second, third round.
So you have weigh-in one on Fridays. You weigh in. What weight you coming in? You're coming in here as a lightweight. Am I right?
It's a catch weight, so it's at 150.
Just like 150. Okay, and that catch weight though signed as a lightweight. Am I right?
It was signed as a featherweight fight, but my opponent, I don't think he could put down the McDonald's, so we had to do.
Carl Roberts, my producer. Do we have any photos of images of him in action? He's got a great Instagram page, and I don't know if I was able to get some of his previous his training. Carl, come on in real quick, Carl. I think you got a question for him too, I believe. Carl's messaging me as we go along. Carl, do you have any images of Jimmie? I know you two know each other.
Unfortunately, I don't have any images. I wish I was able to.
All right, so Carl, you're not going Mohegan Sun, neither am I, but you're going to be able to watch Jimmie where?
Yes, I am. I'm actually going to watch it at a local bar here called Blue 42. They've been posting it all over social media that they're going to be having this fight going on, and they're a big supporter of basically bare knuckle fighting and all other sports too.
Jimmie, I'll ask you again. This is a tough, rigorous sport, just like boxing and MMA and even kickboxing. You protect yourself at all times, I'm sure, just like all of them do in those other combat sports. How do you protect yourself from not getting hurt?
I mean, there's no protecting yourself from not getting hurt. It's a fight. You get hurt in any fight. Boxing, MMA, kickboxing, doesn't matter. Something's going to land. Anybody can get lucky. It happens. You just
how tall are you?
5'4".
Oh, you're a little guy. Okay, so I would never bare knuckle with you. That's for sure. You got that face of a bare knuckle fighter.
So
Latino descent. Where is Jimmie Riverawho from, or your family?
Half Puerto Rican and half Sicilian.
Oh, so you got a little Sicilian in you, like me.
Yeah.
All right, tempers galore.
No, always.
Maybe you'll. That's my friend.
Where Carl's watching it, they're a big supporter. Not only Giorgio, just local guys, but I'm also a police officer in town, so they're a huge supporter for our police force, Elmwood Park. So that's where our headquarters is, and where all the fighters, instructors train at Tiger Showman's. So they're putting on a great show. And again, Giorgio, thank you for throwing up the fight and blasting me on social media and getting it out there. As
you are here on my YouTube channel, AGT Network. Keeping it away. Jimmie, also, I know you don't want to look ahead, but is there a champion in this division? Do you have an eye on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a tough fight coming ahead next month. Kai Stewart, I think he's 6-0 now. I don't know his exact record off the top of my head. He's a champ at 145. He's fighting Duran next month in Florida. It's definitely going to be a good fight. It's an interesting fight because, like I said, you get MMA guys that come in here and boxers. You got Kai Stewart, who is an MMA grinder guy. Not the best boxer, but can grind and push the pace. And with the bare knuckles, a little different because, when you clinch, as long as you're working, you could keep dirty boxing. So that's a big difference from us and in the boxing, besides not having gloves.
Interesting. And thanks for clarifying that for us.
Hold on.
One more time, then you're going to try to fact of the week with me, and it's a bare knuckles fight question as well. Carl, go back to your cave in a moment. All right, Carl, I'll get you with wrestling. Go ahead real quick because we're running late. Go ahead.
You also have one of your on the card with you is also somebody else from your from Tiger Showman.
Yeah, but I have a teammate, Mike Trezano. He won the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. All right.
Now, so they do a little differently. They do main event, co-main event, and then like a feature fight. He was originally feature fight. We all just got bumped up because of.
Wish you the best of luck on Saturday night. Wish I could be there. Carl, get the fact of the week loaded. We're going to give it to him, and then he's going to say goodbye and tell us how we reach him.
You got it.
Hold on, Jimmy. Carl's loading the fact of the week, and you're going to take a crack at it. Here we go. Get ready, Jimmy. Fact of the Jimmy, don't knock me out. All right, because I do this with all my guests every week. It's not trivia, it's a fact. It's a bare knuckles fact. The longest bare knuckle fight of duration. We're going back 6 hours and 15 minutes. All right. Was James Kelly and Jonathan Smith at in Australia in December of 1855. So that's how long this illustrious sport is, bare knuckles. 1855. They went 6 hours, 15 minutes. I don't know how they did it. What type of the question here, the fact is, because it went 6 hours and 15 minutes, how many rounds do you think that fight was?
I wouldn't even know. I would have to do the math, and I'm using my phone right now, so I don't have my calculator in front of me.
I'll tell you, 17 hours.
17 hours? You said rounds, right?
Oh, 17 rounds. Excuse me. 17 rounds.
Round? 10 minutes?
I have no idea. I just got this as a fact.
Did you know? My wife just sent me some. I don't remember the boxer's name, but they said the longest boxing fight, and this took place around the same age, boxing, was about 7 hours and like 42 minutes. Yeah.
And I remember that. I once wrote that up, but I don't remember who, what. But yeah, there's a lot of history. You for sure. You're not going 17 rounds. That's for sure. Saturday night.
No, I'm not going 17 rounds that are 20 minutes each. That's for sure.
All right, Jimmy.
After the fight.
How do fans reach you? How does someone who might be interested go up to the Mohegan Sun up in Connecticut, that beautiful casino resort, on Saturday evening? How do they get tickets? How do they find you on social media? Go ahead.
Listen, just Jimmie Rivera. Just go right to Instagram. In my bio, I have a link for tickets if you could come out and support, which is awesome. I thank you. I have a link in that bio as well that you can stream it. And the other thing is I am doing Jimmie Rivera shirts for charity. The proceeds go to make. So even if you can't go up, stream, watch it, buy a shirt, show the support. All the proceeds are going to Make-A-Wish.
Okay, Jimmy, we'll sure to link that on the replay of this broadcast on Keep It in the Ring. Don't go away because, you will go away. And I'm going to close up the fact of the week as well. Carl, close it up before I say goodbye to Jimmy for the night. Okay, Carl, close up fact of the week. Close it up. All right, Jimmie Rivera, 34-year-old, Bare Knuckles Fighting. You can catch him live as a main event now. Bare Knuckles website, streaming live Saturday night, Mohegan Sun Arena. Jimmy will be looking to increase that record and make his way up the ladder some more as a lightweight and catchweight now. Bare Knuckles Fighting Championship. I can't tell you, Jimmy, how much I enjoyed this. I learned a lot in the few minutes I was with you. Hope we get to meet in person. I always tell everyone, keep it in the ring, but this is not keep it in the ring right now. What should I say? Keep the knuckles flowing?
You know what? They call it a square ring. You know what I mean?
All right.
Keeping this, they
almost the same concept, except you have no gloves. It's bare knuckles. It's a rising sport as well in combat sports. We're going to be looking out for you. The best of luck Saturday night, my friend. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jimmy. Be in touch. We'll let everyone know how you do on social media and on the program next week. That was really, really informative, enjoyable, and I know he's a fan of Rich Mancuso now in the show. I hope so.
Yeah, for sure. And take care. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jimmy. Really appreciate it. I really enjoyed that, and I learned, and I hope you did as well. Bare Knuckles Championship Fighting. 34-year-old Jimmie Riverawho. Catch him Saturday in between everything else if you get a chance. All right, one more timeout, brief. We'll take a break, come back. We're going to go over this week. Of course, there's a lot of pro wrestling news to discuss. This is Keep It in the Ring with Rich Mancuso, live on my YouTube channel, on the AGT Network and Facebook page, Keep It in the Ring, and to you Twitch followers as well. Thanks for tuning in live. Back in a moment. Carl will join me again. We'll go over the pro wrestling. This is Keep It in the Ring. Stay with us. All right, back with Keep It in the Ring, our final segment. Well, no, we do have another one after this. We'll try and get the wrestling talk and info to you as quick as we can, if you don't already know, but get some analysis as well. That's what we do here on the program, Keep It in the Ring, every week. On the AGT Network Live, my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, and Facebook, Keep It in the Ring page, and Twitch as well, live. More exciting news coming with Keep It in the Ring in the weeks to come. We're joining forces with another network and my old network as well, and we'll talk about that, about Stream Punk Entertainment coming along for the ride every week with Rich Mancuso, Carl Roberts, and Keep It in the Ring. All right. Carl, before I bring you in, let's take a look at, well, no, not really. Let's first, come on in, Carl. Let's bring you in right now, talk AEW first. I don't know what's going on with Dynamite right now on TBS. I'm not watching it. But I know that the Young Bucks and the Elite and the takeover with Jack Perry continues with Tony Khan. And your quick thoughts about all this transpiring in AEW as we lead up to Double or Nothing on pay-per-view at the end of the month.
So I actually have it on right now. They just announced the women's title match, Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm for the belt. But with the EVPs, be honest with you, I don't know how they're working this out. I can't seem to grasp this very well.
Well, have they officially announced Christian maybe against Swerve for the AEW title for Double or Nothing?
I'm actually got that on right now. Yes, it is going to be Swerve Strickland, the champion, versus Christian Cage for the title. Okay,
so I'm going to go on real quick, and I could get updated as we go along. We talk about it. But AEW doing more pay-per-views. They claim their ratings are not good at all. Double or Nothing is quickly approaching the end of the month. Jack Perry in this picture now with the Young Bucks. It's a power struggle, obvious what's going on there.
Yes.
And, it's a pretty good angle, but, it's too much of a copycat of WWE.
Definitely.
Okay, I see the Elite is to face Team AEW in an Anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing. They announced that on the program tonight. The Young Bucks, the Elite, taking control. And now they are going to fight for control. It's going to be an Anarchy in the arena match as the main event. Double or Nothing, the end of the month.
Okay, so instead of it being Stampede in the arena, it's going to be the Anarchy. Okay.
And what's with Kenny Omega? Kenny Omega's had an announcement tonight.
It was on before, and I missed it. Oh.
I don't know what Kenny Omega's announcement is.
I am not sure, but I will
excuse the background noise. That's not the Indy 500 in back of me, but I don't have my in my studio at home. I do not have the AC set up yet. It got rather warm in New York today, and that's that I live over a highway, and that's that to me. That's if you're hearing it in the background. I apologize. That's the Indy 500. They like to race. Nobody does nothing about it, of course. Anyway, we'll leave that for another time. But I want to know what's going on with Kenny Omega. I didn't catch that. Perhaps we can get an update on that, or someone knows, because he got clobbered last week and laid out by the Young Bucks and Jack Perry. All right. So AEW continues getting ready for a Double or Nothing. WWE, though. Some interesting things during the week prior to Backlash and afterwards. And take a look at this image. Put it up, Carl. Rey Mysterio and Austin Theory by an elevator. And they had words. Mysterio appearing more and more without his Lucha Libre mask. Going more around lobbies of hotels and public appearances without the mask, which gets to show that maybe his career is coming to an end and he knows now what he looks like. But he'd have been very strict about that, but no more. But this could be leading to something. Now, maybe that's a storyline, but Theory and Mysterio seem to be pretty serious at a hotel there in France where Backlash was held. And then we have Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at the Kentucky Derby leading up. What the hell is that hat that Becky Lynch is wearing?
Yeah, I know at the Kentucky Derby, everybody wears crazy hats and stuff like that. But again, like you said, what the hell is this?
I don't know, but Seth Rollins has a new look as well as he gets as he's on the injured list right now. No word when he's coming back. New look, Seth Rollins.
New haircut, shaved. Who is this person?
I don't know. Maybe he's going to have another persona, a new type of persona or look when he returns by SummerSlam. They think he might be back. But that led up to a Peacock big announcement on NBC, Kentucky Derby, WWE does it better than anyone else, WrestleMania 41. Had talked about Minneapolis was going to get it, but I knew all along Las Vegas. Put that up, Carl. Here's the official statement. Allegiant Stadium, and later than usual, Easter Sunday weekend, 14th and 15th of April of next year. And they say they're doing it then so they have no conflicts with anything else in between or before, including the NCAA Men's Championship or anything else. So there is the official WrestleMania announcement, Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium, April 14th and 15th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Great venue, great spot to have it. And they'll have a whole week of events next year. Okay. And
20th.
Yeah, well, bake the 19th and 20th, right? Which is normal. You know what? The fans are not going to like that. They got to wait that long. Let's review Backlash. And
you got one more photo.
What do we got? Yeah. The last time WrestleMania was held in Vegas, I was there. I was a part of the festivities. I worked. That's imposed. I show that picture to many people. I was there, and my name was up on the billboard. It's Outdoor Caesars Palace Arena. Long story behind that one, Carl.
Well, they say
that was WrestleMania number 9.
Okay, but they were saying the last time that was that 93?
No.
Okay,
was it 93? I know I was there and I worked the event and I got fired.
But the last time they were in Vegas was 1993. So this is the first time since 1993.
Well, and much bigger too, because the Outdoor Caesars Palace could only fit about 12,000. This is going to have close to 80,000 or more next year. All right. Thanks for reminding me about that, Carl. Now, Cody and AJ Styles. Cody wins, retains his first title defense. What's next for Cody Rhodes?
True, but
put that image up.
He did something in the match. He went and said, Stardust is dead. This was his way of saying it's done. So
it is done.
It is.
He's
done.
The face of the company. But what's next for him? What have you heard?
Have not heard anything yet. And then here's the photo of him being held the belt after his win.
And what's for AJ Styles? What's up next for him? I think this was his last moment of trying to get some glory in the WWE.
He's more of what I'm going to say. If you go look at AEW, you have Christian, you have Edge, or Adam Copeland. They both are elevating superstars, and that's what he basically does right now.
Okay. Moving on from Cody and Styles. Let's do this quick.
Also, one other thing, too, about that match with Cody and AJ. AJ wore the same color scheme that he did against Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That bypassed me, and usually I don't miss nothing.
In TNA.
Wow. I didn't know that. Good.
Yes.
Thanks for mentioning that, Carl. I knew the tag team woman, female to champions. I knew this was happening. Predictable. They were Triple H, Bianca Belair, Jay Cardo. Right now, a real force. But I think Cardo's still learning. Bianca and others are giving her some tips. Eventually, you're going to see these two highly touted WWE female superstars tangle with each other. I can see that happening. They'll break up.
Oh, big time.
She's impressive, Cardell, though. She's impressive with her finishing with those moves, and she barrel lifts someone at the top and boom, goes down. Really impressive and strong, and they're a great tag team to watch. That was an enjoyable match. Let's look at the bloodline, this continuing storyline. No Fatu, but Tamaloa. And now we wait. No Roman Reigns shows up. The Rock is in the background doing his movie stuff right now. Where is this going now towards SummerSlam?
Now, I think this is where it's showing that Sikoa is stepping up to be the new head of the table or tribal chief.
But there will be a power struggle as to who the new tribal chief really is, who the real one is. I'm sure Roman Reigns will be back by SummerSlam, and they'll put that together. Do you still think that?
Yes, because also, too, if you remember on Friday night SmackDown, Paul Heyman tried to come out and say, hey, don't do this match. And Randy Orton turned around and asked them the one question we've all been asking. Who is the true head of the table?
Right. And we didn't see Roman, we didn't see Randy Orton or Kevin Owens tangle or have any dissension. So I assume for now, the two of them will stay on the same page, which is good. I like them together as a tag team unit.
They are a great tag team together.
Right. They are. And then Bayley defends her title, newly crowned the WrestleMania female title against, I can't stand Tiffany Stratton. She, just like Liv Morgan, I can't take her. I don't know. But Bayley deservingly retains a pretty good match. We'll see what's up next for Bayley. Maybe more damage control friction going on. For the moment, Bayley is a great fan favorite again. And then we get this. The friction continues with Judgment Day. I could see Damian Priest turning to the good side real soon without Mommy there, without Rhea Ripley. Dominic Mysterio seems like he's already on the way to other things himself, with Liv Morgan maybe or someone else. But then we have the friction going on. When is this going to happen for real? When will they break up?
I think by SummerSlam it'll be over.
And
because if you looked at it, he literally grabbed Finn Balor by the face, and Damian Priest has never done that.
This has been building, and you could see it coming eventually. And by SummerSlam, Carl, I think you're right. By the way, more hints of the Uncle Howdy and his the six. You got to go on the QR code, and you get and I don't know how to do that, but all of these secrets are coming out. And it looks like we don't know if Braun Strowman will be a part of that, but I bet Alexa Bliss on her comeback, she'll be a part of it. Maybe Eric Rowan, who's back in WWE.
I was just about to say, he pulled out of a independent show and says, I can't do that. And people were speculating, and then it came out that he did re-sign with WWE.
So we await the return of Uncle Howie which was a part of the Bray Wyatt, and in his memory as well, to continue that with his brother Rotunda. All right, let's move on to Independence and back next Saturday. It is May 18th. I'm going to be part of the commentary team. Jason Knight, ECW Knight, with Equinox XXV1 in Williamstown, New Jersey. I'm going to be working with Tony Cairo, which will be nice to reunite with him. It's acwsync.tix.com to get them. There is a fan fest, free admission from 4 to 7 p.m. AssaultChampionshipWrestling.com is the website. It's at the Viper Center there in Williamstown, New Jersey. And you're going to see Jason Knight, Pitbull #1, Mickey Whipwreck versus Johnny Casimir and the Block Scouts. So that's going to be a good one. We'll talk more about it next week and look forward to that. Carl calls up Keep It in the Ring Wrestling. Let's take a brief break extended while I attend to some quick business. Back in a moment. I'm Rich Mancuso. Stay with us. This is Keep It in the Ring. All right, but back with Keep It in the Ring. Sorry about those interruptions, folks. It happens. I'm Rich Mancuso. This is live. I do it from my home in a studio where it's set up. Sometimes you get interrupted. I got to learn to tell people don't ring bells. Close out the windows by the studio part of here and stop the Indy 500 from screaming along. So if you're getting all the background effects, I do apologize for that. It's part of doing a live broadcast on YouTube and the internet, but we're learning, still learning. All right. Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, X, formerly Twitter, where you get me on social media. Read my content at NewYorkSportsDay.com, Stringpunk Media, Latino Sports, among other sites I write for. And as always, as I say, keep it in the ring. And, of course, please subscribe to the channels, to YouTube, Rich Mancuso, also AGT Network, and the Keep It in the Ring Facebook page. And to those of you on Twitch following live, thank you once again. All right. Nostalgia time as we try and wrap this program up. We've gone over this week. Thank you, Carl Edwards, my great producer. All right. First, according to YouBowling.com, got this note. Boxing is secondly the most favorite indoor sport next to basketball, volleyball, and martial arts. Martial arts mean kickboxing, Muay Thai, and stuff like that. But I found that interesting by YouBowling.com, the website, to say that boxing was the second most favorite indoor sport next to all the others. And I expected that with baseball. I did expect that with baseball. That was basketball because they're in their playoff season right now. But those stats come up, and I give them to you when they come.
Sorry, folks. We have a technical difficulty there. Unfortunately, we're going to end it now. We will be back next week. Keep it right here. Unless Rich comes in, I'm going to give him 5 more minutes. So if that's the case, we want to thank everybody for watching, especially our guest, Jimmie Riverawho. We wish him the best this Saturday night. Again, I will be watching it at a local bar, as you heard before. Check out Bare Knuckle Fighting, but also, too, check out the Main Event podcast tomorrow night, 8 p.m., right here on the AGT network and on our Twitch channel. We'll be talking about Bare Knuckle Fighting, the upcoming fight. Not only that, we will talk about UFC, because big news out of the UFC involving Conor McGregor and Bare Knuckle Fighting. And give me 2 seconds.
Oh, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. But things could go wrong tonight. They're going wrong because we're going over. Apologize to everyone, but I'm back. I'm alive. I'm well. I lost my internet connection. That's part of doing live. That's what happened.
It's all right. I got you covered.
I hope you talked while I was off.
Oh, yes, I did. I also plugged tomorrow night's show.
Good. That's what I forgot to ask you before. All right, Carl, thanks. Hopefully I won't get 5 more minutes and we'll be done. But I was saying that 38 million viewers, 38 million Instagram hashtags, which has made, according to YouBowling.com, boxing the second most favorite indoor sport. Interesting. All right. Then we go to nostalgia. I like doing this every week. You're enjoying it as well, based on your reaction. I go back in the past to this. May 8th, 1971, Carlos Monzon stopped Nito Benvenuti. Viva Italia. Round 3, retaining his WBA, WBC middleweight titles in Monaco. Monzon, 6 months prior, took the title from him in the second round knockout, which was known and tabbed as Fight of the Year. So back in boxing history again with the nostalgia. Here you go. Nino Benvenuti, who could fight with the best of them at that time and also could bleed with the best of them. A lot of blood wars with Nino Benvenuti and the great Carlos Monzon. We do this every week. Nostalgia on Keep It in the Ring. That one great fight of the past. Take a look at this, because it's coming up to the anniversary of me getting this great award. Look at Rich Mancuso with a beard. Many say I should grow it again. Me and former New York State Athletic Commissioner Rose Trentman, and me getting the Joe Louis Boxer Day Writer of the Year Award back on May 15th, 1992. By the way, it's the day after my birthday. Happy birthday to Rich. Coming up Tuesday once again, and I look forward to it, getting older. But there I am with Rose Trentman and the Joe Louis. I prize this, Carl. Here it is. And everyone, it's in my case. Writer of the Year, Joe Louis Boxer Day. It's like holding an Academy Award. It is that heavy. In fact, the first day I got this, what do you think Rich Mancuso did? I broke it. And I had it repaired, the base at the bottom. I cherish this, not only because they named me and gave me the recipient of Writer of the Year for this great organization, but also how much I admired Joe Louis, the great former heavyweight champion of the world, when boxing in the heavyweight division, as I said earlier, was the face of the sport and reigned supreme. So I'll look back in the past, and I thank you for sharing that with me. Anniversary of May 15, 1992, winning that writing award and a few others along the way. However, I'm still not in the Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm not looking for it. They call me. I'm still looking for Writer of the Year, Boxing Writers America. They call me. That's never going to happen because I'm not a member of that group. It's all politics, political, who they want. Frankly, I don't care. 43 years doing this. I still enjoy doing it, talking to you, writing, you reading my content. Like me or don't like me, that's up to you. I love you all, and I enjoy talking to you every week on the program. Don't forget this weekend, Still a good fight up there. Lomachenko, George Gambosis Jr. We await word again on Ryan Garcia, the after effect of him using an illegal substance, steroids. The appeal process is ongoing right now as Ryan Garcia continues to deny the allegations and says, and Commissioner of New York State Athletic Commission has been terminated or left. I don't know how true that is. Haven't been able to confirm it. We do know this. We can confirm that Ryan Garcia will not keep his mouth shut. Who does he fight next? That's what we want to know. And Carl, one more image I got to show about Ryan Garcia. Do you have that Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney character of the two of them? One of them wearing a hat as a cook. Do you have that? I think we bypassed that. I want to show that one as well. There it is. Look at that. That's more Ryan Garcia bullshit. Devin Haney, he says, should be a cook, and he doesn't want the rematch. There we go. And again, Canelo Alvarez, as I said at the opening tonight, the legacy continues. He indeed the face of boxing and will continue to be as long as he keeps this up. That compiling wins and dominating and continuing to retain the 168-pound unified titles. But the fight with David Benavidez, which everyone says may not happen, or it could, that's the one we all want to see, and hopefully we will, but I doubt it very lightly. As I said at the beginning again, don't know if Canelo wants to face him. He's avoiding him, and as Canelo Alvarez says, I repeat again, I fight who I want, I do what I want. And he does. Basically, that's why he's the face. My thanks again to Jimmie Riverawho, Bare Knuckles Fighter, fighting in the main event Saturday night. Catch him if you can. Bare Knuckles Fighting Championships. More on the Jason Knight, ECW Jason Knight promotion next week. Tommy Cairo will join us. I have Xander Zayas, lightweight, the super lightweight, who's in the back of my screen there every week, as you see, fighting in Madison Square Garden in June as part of Puerto Rican Day weekend activities in Madison Square Garden in early June. I'm lining him up with Top Rank. Talk about his upcoming fight. Hopefully within 2 weeks he'll be on the program, and much more. Your continued support of me on Keep It in the Ring with my great producer Carl Edwards is appreciated. Like, comment, and please subscribe. It's free. That would be really nice if you do that. Continue to be in touch. My social media again, X, formerly Twitter, Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, and to the followers on Twitch, thank you once again for watching us live. Back next week. Watch the social media handles live. We'll tell you when. We'll have a lot to talk about next week as well. Until next week, for my producer, Carl Edwards, and to all of you out there, as always, be good to each other. Stay well. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms. Don't forget, wish me a happy birthday. That's coming up a week from, it's Tuesday, a few days. I'm getting older. I'm here. I'm still here. And as always, my friends, as I say, keep it in the ring. Thanks for watching. Take care.